Chapter 3. Please release her. Please stop this, said Princess Purity, who appeared suddenly. The princess was lethargic, but she struggled to get up to prevent the punishment imposed on the slave. Princess, I punished her because you almost died because she poisoned you, said the king as he held the princess's hands to calm down. Your Majesty, I can't afford to see someone suffered because of me. The princess burst into tears and almost fainted when she saw that the fire slowly consumed the firewood that Sonia was lying on. Calm down and go back to your room because you are still lethargic, the king said calmly as the two soldiers took Princess Purity and helped her to return to her room. Your Majesty, we don't have enough evidence for Sonia to suffer that heinous punishment, Princess Purity declared as her gaze on the king pleaded. Sonia felt the heat and she was about to burn. She took a deep breath and trembled with fear. She tried to lift herself, but she was tightly bound. Her heart beats faster like drums and she urinated due to nervousness. The king quickly motioned his soldiers to put out the blazing fire and rescue the slave. The soldiers quickly fetched water and even the people in the palace helped as well, but the fire continued to burn and almost overtook the slave. The people panicked until suddenly the power went out, followed by loud thunder and lightning, and suddenly the heaviest rain fell. People ran because of the heavy rain and hid themselves due to strong thunder and lightning except Sonia's mother. My daughter, said Sonia's mother with her puffy eyes. Mother, I can't believe that I'm still alive, Sonia said as her lips trembled due to the strong gust of cold wind. God heard my prayers and later the soldiers will come here to release you because of Princess Purity's order, Sonia's mother said happily as she slowly removed the rope that bound Sonia's hands. I'm glad Princess Purity believes me that I'm innocent, Sonia muttered as her tears flowed in ecstasy. God is merciful because he knows that you are innocent and you are just being blamed, her mother said emotionally as she hugged Sonia tightly. A few minutes later the soldiers came to free Sonia from its shackles. Thank you so much for letting me go, Sonia tearfully said to the soldiers as she could not believe that she had been given the opportunity to live with her mother again. Don't thank us because we just followed what Princess Purity told us, said the soldiers as they untied Sonia and then left. Princess Purity is very kind because she didn't hesitate to help you and she even told me that you need to rest for a few days before going back to work, Sonia's mother said tearfully as she supported her daughter to lift herself to get back to their little home at the back of the palace. Princess Purity suggested to do a thorough investigation about the poisoning that happened to her because she believed that Sonia was just a victim. She wanted to know who was the mastermind and what was his motive for poisoning her, and this was approved by the king. Princess Banya found out about the re-investigation of Princess Purity's poisoning, so she immediately ran to her queen mother to inform her of the bad news. Your Majesty, Princess Purity wants to re-investigate the poisoning that happened to her, and it was approved by the king, Princess Banya gasped while talking to her queen mother. Really? No one should know that I am the mastermind of what is happening, and my dear princess, I need your help, Queen Cleopatra replied anxiously while unsure what to do. That damn princess is really annoying, said Princess Banya as she sat on the couch. I hope she doesn't investigate further and instead be thankful that she's still alive. Princess Banya bit the pillow next to her because she was so annoyed with Princess Purity. Princess Banya, come here because I have thought of a way to solve our problem, the queen happily said to Princess Banya as she put her lips to the princess's ear to whisper what she had planned. Your Majesty, you are really very smart and I admire you, Princess Banya laughed at what her queen mother had planned. All right, go back to your room so that no one will suspect our evil plans. Queen Cleopatra touched Princess Banya's shoulder to lead her to the door. Princess Banya's Pav. Princess Banya was the daughter of Queen Cleopatra and King Zuper. She was born in her mother's palace and brought into her father's kingdom at the age of 5. Since she was young, her mother had taught her not to mingle with Princess Purity. She was jealous of Princess Purity because apart from being the king's favorite, she was even prettier than her, so she would do everything to make her disappear from her sight. Heidi became anxious about the re-investigation of the poisoning of Princess Purity, so he immediately talked to Queen Cleopatra. "Your Majesty, I'm afraid the king might know everything," Heidi said nervously as he scratched his head. "Don't involve me in your sloppy work, if you don't want to taste my anger," Queen Cleopatra said angrily as she shot him a vicious stare. "Your Majesty, I don't know what to do because tomorrow the king will start investigating and I'm sure my name will be involved." Heidi shuddered as a lot of sweat dripped down his face. "Make a way and remember, don't involve me in your stupidity." Queen Cleopatra's eyes glazed over in anger as she glanced down the path of the slaves in the palace to make sure no one would notice that she was talking to Heidi. "Your Majesty, don't leave me alone because you are the one who caused me to get into this mess," Heidi pleaded as he wiped every drop of his sweat that landed on his face. "Get out of my sight and don't involve me in your misfortune if you don't want to taste my ferocity." Queen Cleopatra spat at Heidi as she turned around and hurried away. Queen Cleopatra hurried to Princess Banya's room as she lifted her pink gown so that it would not land on the floor as she ran. "My princess, I need to make a way. I'm afraid Heidi might confess to the king," said Queen Cleopatra, who was bothered. Princess Banya was surprised by the arrival of her queen mother and quickly got up to go to her door to make sure it was locked properly. "Your Majesty, he must disappear from our sight because he is an obstacle to our plans," Princess Banya said while feeling sorry for her queen mother because of the problem brought on by Heidi. "Princess Banya, you need to help me so that we can execute our plan properly." Queen Cleopatra held the princess's arms and she stared at her pleadingly. "Your Majesty, don't worry because I will do everything to get rid of the palace chef." Princess Banya hugged her queen mother to calm her mood. The king had decided to let the two queens and princesses to have dinner with him because he wanted to let them know that they were going to hold a big celebration for the upcoming birthday of the dear Princess Purity. They both arrived on time and all the food was laid on the table. While they were eating, the king spoke about the birthday celebration, but it suddenly stopped because Princess Banya suddenly vomited. She was shaking. She fell on her seat because it looked like she was having a seizure and she suddenly fainted. "My princess. Princess Banya, my dear, what happened to you?" said Queen Cleopatra, who was shocked and nervous. King Zupir stood up to signal his assistants to help Princess Banya and pondered deeply why the same incident had happened again. "Someone may have poisoned the princess again and I can't forgive whoever did this to her." Queen Cleopatra shouted in anger and shook Princess Banya so that she would not faint. Queen Sasa and Princess Purity were stunned and barely able to move due to the shocking incident they witnessed.